Yeah, but no, our focus was to beat Argentina. We know how tough they are here, and yeah, so if it was similar in your opinion, like the New Zealanders, and we only kept them to one try, then I guess it's positive. But we felt it was a little bit different. It was we in the first half I felt we had a lot of territory, and we just made errors that we thought would be in the game. You know, with 7, 8 guys who's played in the last 6, 7 weeks, only almost no minutes. Always thought it was going to be disjointed, and with leaving 15 guys in South Africa. So yes, I would say it's. No, I wouldn't say it's good practice for New Zealand. Argentina play a different style, and it's here very intimidating. The stadium here, and this is one of the wins. Obviously, it wasn't pretty. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but that we expected, sort of. So yeah, I guess the happiest we are with the win and with the grind.
Ja, Hendrik?
Hello, Rassie. Rassie, what were the biggest positives for you in this win?
Well, the win first of all, of course. Our track record here has never been great. They play a very similar style of physical game as us, and we always struggle to get over them physically. But then to keep them only to 7 points, and the one try was that offload, which the guy got away with, where I felt our defence was really intact. So yeah, I thought our defence was good, and our discipline was relatively good. Obviously, the biggest thing is on attack, which we have to sort out because yeah, it's just Sasha hasn't played in months. Same with Ethan, the same with Kanan. The same with Krappies. Andre was out for 3 weeks now. There was Siya for a very long time. Eben, Lood, and to get those guys through the game. Obviously, Siya's other hamstring he injured, but it doesn't look too bad. So that's the positives. And the negatives is obviously that we didn't attack really as a group.
Harry?
Yes. Congratulations, Rassie and Siya. Rassie, it seemed like an old-fashioned, old-school game in some ways. To get over the line, it had to be won by defense. What was the defensive shift that seemed to stop Argentina better and keep them on their heels for most of the second half?
I know that I'm repeating myself a lot. This is a very proud nation, and as I always say, them in the world, I always feel they've got that South African thing in them, and they're very, very passionate, and they keep going. But I thought our defence today was what win the games, and we can always get attacked better. It takes a little bit of time, but because we switch in and out today, we had a lot of changes again. I guess when we go down the greatest rivalry, we'll start steadying out on teams, on more or less the same kind of team, and not chop and change so much because it's a new competition. But with the amount of players who returned from injury, I think the thing that stood out in the defence was the discipline to be last feet, and was the discipline to level change and not get cards and not to go offside too much. And we worked really hard, or Jerry worked really hard on that the whole week.
Leighton?
Hi, Siya, Rassie. Rassie, for you, please, just in terms of your starters who stood out tonight, some bench players who came on that turned the physical tide for you, guys like Kobus and Ben Jason. Does it make your job a bit more trickier now when you are set to trim your squad ahead of the next series?
We're not going to trim the squad. The squad is 40, 15 guys there, 26 guys here. What's that, 41? That's 40. So we're not going to trim the squad like New Zealand are touring with 44. So we're not going to trim the squad. So the team selection on making the right team for the first test match, obviously, which in 2 weeks away. We've got obviously 15 guys at home that are already prepared for that. Not saying that they're going to start definitely or be in the match at 23. We just had to get a lot of players on this side through some match fitness. So now in the next 2 weeks we'll have to look at our injuries, and then we'll pick the team that we hope can try and beat New Zealand in the first test match. So it's not a fact that we'll rather put more guys back in and also put the numbers up to 44. I think New Zealand are doing 44. So yeah, so it's not, nobody has to get cut.
I think goes.
Thanks, buddy. Coach Rassie, just how were you impressed with the guys who were returning in terms of how they were able to keep up with the physicality and the intensity of the game? And also, can you get an elaboration on Andre Esterhuizen's head injury or just clarity on that?
Yeah, sorry, I know the previous, I can't remember who asked the previous question. He also asked me which guy stood out. I thought Loot was really physical in the first 25-30 minutes when he was relatively fresh, and then obviously the pace of the game got to him because he hasn't played in almost a year. And then I thought Eben going 80. I thought we saw the old Eben again in the game. I thought he was physical. I thought he carried well. I thought he defended well. And I thought Siya, I don't know, how many minutes did you play? 20 minutes. I thought he was really dynamic with his carries and his clean-outs and stuff. Then obviously Krabbish was, it was very blustery and very windy, so it was difficult to control the box kicks. Sasha was obviously playing back for the first time in a very long time, and obviously he wasn't very accurate in his things, and you could see he got tired. I thought Kanan came through well. I thought Ethan came through well after their injuries and being out for a while. And then who's the other guys that came back? No, that's more or less them.
Enemy.
Thank you, guys, and congratulations. Rassie, just a word also, you didn't mention Cameron now. I know he didn't come back from injury. He had a stormer of a game, and that opens up your number 8 position for you.
It doesn't open up. Jasper is clear and clear, number 1, number 8. And Cameron has now really played well against our Argentinian team that knocked us over a few times, so it's lucky to have another option there. I thought Ulrich did well at stages. Yeah, and still obviously we've got Peter Steff and Paul de Villiers and Sia's coming back, and Andre can play at 8, and yeah, Marco played at 8 for us. So yeah, it's lucky to have those options, and we'll try and pick the 23 that we can think beat New Zealand, hopefully. But definitely Cameron he's starting to settling nicely in the team. He's starting to be calm, understanding what we're trying to do. So I think he's getting better every game.
Guys, vloggers off. One more question.
Henrik is.
And then Hendrik, and then we